when I lost my father in 2020. I was 38. So for me, that single event is what I like to call the rapture. Because my life up until that moment was average, We were not raised to automatically assume that when dad or mom passes, I have a right to this property or that car or what have you. So those 2 years were in court, fighting for the family to be together and trying to bring some peace, right? And honor him. So I appreciate all that he did for us. But I think those 2 years, man, roast goat with some fries, that will attract some gin and tonic. Before you know it, I'm calling my dealer and I need my cocaine. So all of that is a person trying to cope. At least that's from others. We think those in rehab have failed. Let me be the first to tell you, I have met some of the smartest people you could ever come across. And if you think and I think within 30 minutes, I'd found an old email, maybe 10 years old, with my dealer's number, and there he was 30 minutes later. It's business for him. And I started using again for maybe a week or two. And then I remember asking myself, why am I using this? So I look at myself today, 4 years after rehab. In fact, this is June, right?
Yes.
So June 27th will be...
This is July.
This is July?
Yeah.
Wow. So actually, it was last week on the 27th.
A warm welcome to today's episode of BareTalk. It is always about to tell, to inspire. It is all about those testimonies, those stories that will inspire hope. And on today's episode, we have a story on addiction. I know we in a number of our previous episodes we did stories about addiction, and now here we get to hear a different story where someone doesn't really reach that point that you feel that it's not okay to stop this. But now what is that now that is triggering the whole addiction thing? I want us to listen to this story so that you can get to know what really transpired in the life of our guest today. Karibu sana. Hello, hi.
Hello.
You good?
Wonderful.
Okay, I'm fine as well. My name is Mercy. I get to sit down to listen to people's stories, testimonies, because I believe through telling a story, one is able to encourage someone out there. Because, but as a person, I also know that your story has maybe made you better, made someone else better. So before we even proceed, I want you to introduce yourself so that people can get to know who you are.
All right. Thank you, Mercy. And welcome to my humble little home.
Thank you.
You've turned it into a CNN studio. So my name is Sunday Ndunguru Kapesi, 44-year-old father of 3.
40 what?
44. Thank you for... Are you aging me or complimenting me?
I'm complimenting you. You don't look that.
Now you're making me blush on camera. Not fair.
Okay.
44-year-old father of 3. Originally from Tanzania.
Yeah.
Currently in Kenya pursuing 2 diplomas. One in addiction treatment. Right next door at KU. And the second one in addiction counseling, which I do downtown at a college called SAPTA. I mentioned both these names because these are the only institutions I know of in East and Central Africa that actually teach addiction at the diploma level. The others who do it as certificate, but these two do it at diploma level. And they're amazing courses. I recommend for people. Moved here last year, January, to pursue these diplomas, but also to pivot So I'm a lawyer by training. I've been working as an advocate with the High Court of Tanzania since 2005. I've dabbled in business development. I had a startup at some point. So why addiction treatment, addiction counseling? That's tied to who I am becoming.
Okay.
So above all, as much as my kids are the most important thing, I'm also a very proud recovering cocaine addict.
Cocaine.
Yes, that expensive, terrible, addictive.
That's a big name when you get to hear someone is recovering from coke addiction.
Yeah, most people tend to just say substance and then hide the cocaine in there because they don't want the stigma. I don't want the stigma either. But my approach to my recovery is to let in the light, be as honest as I can be, knowing that I'm not the only one that's struggling with this or has struggled with this or will struggle with it. So Sunday today is a proud recovering addict. 4 years into my recovery journey. It's not been straightforward. I've had a lapse or two. I've had one major relapse, I think about 2 years ago. It's a marathon. And I think it's important for people to know. You never get cured. You learn to manage, you learn to prioritize your sobriety, and you need to become someone completely different from who you used to be.
Yes.
Sunday today is training to be an addiction counselor, working and volunteering as an addiction recovery coach, as a mental health advocate, positive recovery messenger. That's why I love these opportunities. Thank you for allowing me to share my story.
Okay.
And I've decided to dedicate the rest of my life to helping others who are battling alcohol, substances, or behavioral addictions, and those also struggle with mental health. I've had my mental health challenges, and addiction and mental health, two very stigmatizing subjects, and I think that's the challenge we have today. Those who then do better don't want to talk about when things were bad. They want to be judged for things being well, and that's the deceiving nature of addiction. Is when you're actually stable, that's when you're at most risk, because you get off whatever your program is. So again, who is Sunday today? A proud recovering addict. And someone trying to make a difference.
Okay. Where does now your story begin as Sunday? Where does your life begin? A little bit maybe about yourself growing up. How was it?
Okay. So I think within the context of addiction, many times you look at stories that start in disaster, right? Maybe your dad wasn't around, or you're very poor, or something like that. Those are sort of the narratives out there. But I think there's a story that we don't talk about enough, which is those who are born in a middle-class family like myself, went to good schools like myself, showed up to church every Sunday. By all intents and purposes, how can you tell an addict? How do you tell someone struggling with mental health if life seems to be okay? So I grew up here in Kenya. My parents worked really hard, gave me and my 3 siblings a really good life. And I would say until age 16, I was pretty normal. Did well in school, did well in sports. And then my dad retired. The family moved back to Tanzania. I was here in boarding school, somewhere in Rongai. And I think I thrived quite well. I think my story starts with moving back to Tanzania at age 16. Country I never really lived in. Different language, these are my people, I'm from Tanzania. But I can start to see those are the teenage years, or post-teenage years. I was about 16 when I moved back to Tanzania, got into high school, did well, got into college, university, studied law, graduated pretty early, I think I was 21. And what I'm telling you now is what I've been able to deconstruct the last 4 years. But I think when I started working as a lawyer, and I think I did quite well, worked for a big firm, learned a lot. I think my 20s is where maybe some of my struggles really began. And it wasn't substances, I think it was more my mental health. I'm what they call a highly functioning anxious person, in the sense that when the situation is tough, I tend to rise to the occasion. On one hand, that's a credit, very cool and calm under pressure. But on the other hand, if you're a firstborn like me, you want to look into something called firstborn syndrome.
Oh, you are the firstborn?
I'm the firstborn.
Okay.
It's a thing. You take on responsibilities. You're the one who's made an example of. You're used to carrying the burdens of other people, whether they asked you or not. So I did what most firstborns did. Tried to be there for everybody else. But along the way, never really knew how to be there for myself. What does that mean? I struggled with boundaries. Saying no to people. Saying no to myself. Right? So if I'm onto something, I'm onto something. And I'll run until my shoes, the soles of my shoes burn out. And then if I'm not interested in something, I'm not interested in something. So I'm in one place or the other. But I think my 20s were relatively okay. I think I was about 33, 34. First time I tried a bit of cocaine with a friend or two. And what I can remember was not doing much of it. It's a very expensive habit to have. And I never took the route of selling things, pawning things. So I think I was what they call a regular social user. Let's say 2014, 2015 to about 2026. My age that age between, say, 30 and 38, or 32, 38, somewhere there. It's a very legal thing, so you do it in hiding, right? And that's a double-edged sword. Double-edged sword in the sense that it becomes a very personal thing, but because you're not doing it with other people, who's there to check you? You know, people who drink together, you can tell you've drunk too much. Hopefully you have the right kind of friends to tell you to go home or take your keys. Rarely happens, I know. But it's a very alone kind of habit. I was never in those circles of people that throw parties and it would be all over the place. But I noticed pretty early, for some reason, it helped me sleep. I always had racing thoughts, always had a lot of thoughts. I think I was a highly anxious person, but knew how to hide it pretty well because all that energy went into activities. It also helped me focus. So this is not to give any of you who are struggling with focus ideas. Trust me, that addiction comes with a very high paycheck, or very high check or price. But it helped me sleep, it helped me focus, it helped me stay motivated, which means the question is, why was I struggling with my focus? Why was I unmotivated? Why couldn't I sleep? Those are the questions I never asked myself. And to those around me, provided I kept showing up, providing, being the life of the party or what have you. How do you tell if someone is struggling? Especially if you ask them and they say, I'm okay. I was very good at saying I'm okay. And I think most of the time I thought I was okay, but I really wasn't. So I'm a father of three, like I said. I think age 28, 29, we had our first daughter. And then two others showed up in my 30s. And I think the story gets interesting. Or more dramatic when I lost my father in 2020. I was 38. So for me, that single event is what I like to call the rapture. Because my life up until that moment was average, you know, coping as best I could with situations, with things that were thrown my way. Coping like everybody else. But when my father died, I think the next 2 years were a bit of a blur to me. That is 2020, 2022. Why do I say it's a blur? My relationship at the time, my view, was in the ICU. We had a lot of struggles.
As a family now?
Yes, now my own little family. My two young kids with my ex-fiance and myself in the mix. And now my dad's no longer there. And I talk about this with a lot of reverence and respect and pain when I say, I have written my will. I don't have much, but I've written my will. And why am I saying that? Because my father didn't write his will. Something we had even spoken about, or I challenged him a few times. But in Africa, for some reason, we focus too much on mortality. And unataka nife. And the answer is, you're trying to kill me, or why are we talking about death? It's such a taboo subject that I want to challenge, because I want to believe if he had written his will, maybe my life would have turned out a bit differently. But he's of that generation, and that still happens today. I'm a lawyer. I can guide you through that. But I can tell you, I know a lot of lawyers who haven't written their will themselves. So the family starts to fight over property. That really did a number on me, to see members of our own family feeling they have a right to this or that, which is his sweat, blood, and tears. I never felt, we were not raised to automatically assume that when dad or mom passes, I have a right to this property or that car or what have you. So those 2 years were in court, fighting for the family to be together and trying to bring some peace, right? And honor him. So I appreciate all that he did for us. But I think those 2 years, man, can you imagine Sunday in Kahawa courts or Mlimani courts? And I'm appearing before this judge. I haven't slept for 2-3 days. And then I'd go to the bathroom, do a line or two of coke just to sort of stimulate myself. So you need to understand that what I now know was that was my escape from my reality. And the reality at the time was my relationship was failing and I felt like a failure. I was an absentee father, which is something that I own. Not easy to say, but it is ownership. And then I'm looking at my family fighting about all this stuff that was not even ours to begin with. Trust me when I tell you, I did meet 1 or 2 lawyers in those dingy bathrooms, doing them more or less the same day. So really surprising, isn't it? Huh? And I only started remembering that earlier this year. I saw you, you saw me, we're both quiet. I'm not going to snitch you, you're not going to snitch me. But those 2 years, my addiction just went through the roof. There's stages to addiction. So when I started cocaine in 2014, 2015, you're a regular user, you're a social user. As addictive as it is, I didn't do it all the time. But then the last 2 stages is when you become dependent. And the best example I give people is someone who says, I can't start my day without coffee. There's someone who says, I can't start my day without some alcohol. I can't start my day without some weed. But they can go the rest of the day without it. We're very different. But the next stage, and it's a very short window between dependency and full-blown addiction, is full-blown addiction. That's where now it doesn't matter if it's in the morning, in the evening, lunchtime, the baby is crying, you're going to go have that drink. So 2020, 2022 was the height of my cocaine usage. And that was characterized with me being absent from home, not really being supportive to my partner with our 2 small kids. I own that. And what was going on in Sunday's head? I can't remember much of 2020, 2022 other than being in court, disappearing for a couple of hours.
Trying to manage the situation.
Exactly. And it was a lot. I don't think I was really good at asking for help. I don't think I was really good at receiving help. But I do know I was good at helping other people, which I now realize was a way of escaping from my own issues, but also finding purpose. Kumsaidia mwenzako, ndugu yako, kaka yako, rafiki yako, you feel like you've made some difference, right? Anyway, we finished the court processes. Property is divided. There's a bit more calm now.
Yeah.
By then, my relationship is already in the dogs because my focus wasn't there. So we decided to split with my partner. That was January 2024.
Yeah.
By then, I was 130 kilograms overweight because I developed a eating disorder, which is more emotional eating. Whenever I was stressed, I would eat. So I was that guy, 1 o'clock in the morning, on my way home, pass by, get some boozy, and you wonder why I couldn't sleep. Because at 1 o'clock in the morning, you're having roast goat with some fries. That will attract some gin and tonic.
Yeah.
Before you know it, I'm calling my dealer and I need my cocaine. So all of that is a person trying to cope. At least that's my story.
Yes.
And coping in the wrong ways.
Yeah.
So that boozy felt good as I chewed it. That gin and tonic felt good as I drank it. That cocaine felt good when I snorted it or sniffed it. But those are temporary highs. What's really happening behind the scenes is the anxiety that's not being managed well, the depression that I was unaware of, the grief and loss, and all these things I didn't know were happening. So I'm grateful to my ex, grateful to my sister, my best friend. They were the first ones to sit me down, intervention style, like you see it in the movies. Let's go have lunch. But actually, it's going to be a very honest conversation about you're not sleeping well, you're not seen, you're not focused, what's going on. You're still using cocaine. And I said, yeah, I'm still using cocaine.
Yeah.
Have you tried to stop? Why should I? You know? And those are those defiant answers that when you hear from someone who's struggling, they're probably struggling. So they gave me an ultimatum. Either you tell your mother that you have this problem or we will. And as much as I did not like those three people that day, I think that was the opening of actually getting a bit of help. Because you can't do this on your own.
Yes.
And anyone who's tried to beat addiction on their own, anyone has failed at some point. You can't do it yourself. You think you're doing it on your own, but you really can't. So, Zunguka Dar es Salaam that day, avoid coming home, came home late at night, found my mother seated right there, and I'd never seen her in that kind of state. Very disappointed, crying, very upset. Felt like I'd broken her heart. Now, for me, that was my rock bottom. You'll hear rock bottom a lot, and many people think it's kuwa kwenye mfereji au mtaro somewhere. For some, maybe that's what it is.
Yes.
But for me, it was my mother seated exactly where you were, and I was walking into her sitting room, and I sat down, and we cried together. And I remember sweating a lot and sort of being very uncomfortable. Shetani gani huyu ambaye ameingia kwenye maisha yako? I raised you in the church. Is it because your dad died? Those sort of things. And that was the moment I think I went, what is happening? What have I done? The one person I really care about and has really helped me in my life is disappointed in me. And the nature of addiction, or anything you're not proud of, is you don't want those close to you to know. So you do everything you can to avoid that. Deprive them of the chance to help you. But we ended that conversation with my mom closing her hands and praying and reminding me that she's my mother and she'll never give up on me and they're going to get me help. And I'm going to go to rehab. And I still remember that moment. I think it was sometime in April or May of 2022. Because then a month later, June 27th, I was in rehab right here in Nairobi, beginning the journey they call recovery. I'll always remember July 27th because a few days later, you guys went to the polls and elected your current president. I remember Bomas of Kenya and all of that nonsense on TV.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's besides the point. So that intervention from my ex, my sister, and my best friend was very crucial in the beginning steps of me getting help and sort of starting to turn my life around. That conversation with my mother was the next big step, which got me from trying to deal with this on my own, which had failed, to start getting help. So my first message to anybody that's watching this, if you have a loved one struggling with addiction, and by addiction we tend to mean substances or behavioral addiction or alcohol, it's not fun to confront someone with the truth, and they'll probably fight back. And you've probably tried many, many times. And it's not easy. But my question is, would you rather be liked by this person or be right? Right in the sense that you help them get help. So I see a lot of people struggling with that, you know? Or they've tried, and me, being the addict, refuse to get help. If you don't have it in you, seek professional help. Talk within your family. Because the nature of addiction as well is that we keep it a secret. Right? So you don't want the shame, you don't want the guilt. Why wouldn't you want the auntie to know? Or grandfather or grandmother? Like, this is where I've seen families really come together. And those are the moments, I think, that define family. That is interesting, that your nuclear family will know, but your extended family won't. It's interesting to me that your best friend will know, but then other friends will not know. And addiction thrives in isolation.
Oh, sure.
Addiction grows in silence.
That moment you are still in denial.
Exactly. And denial is not lying. Denial is not believing you have a problem. And why do we believe we don't have a problem? I show up to church every Sunday. I help people. I go to work. I'm a lawyer. I wear a suit. People like me in town. So they don't really know the demons you're facing.
Yes.
And you don't even think they're demons, right? For lack of a better word. So addiction thrives in silence. Alcohol thrives in secrecy. Alcoholism thrives in secrecy.
That moment you don't want to disclose to anyone whatever you are going through, that is now the moment alcohol now becomes a demon to you.
Exactly. So what's the opposite? The opposite would be being open, being vulnerable. And I know it's not for everyone, but at least tell someone. Or have someone care enough to cut through all the crap and hold you accountable. So, back to my chain of thought. So I land in Nairobi. I go to a detox facility. So step one is normally detox. What is detox? Let's get you to be sober for a couple of days. If you have any physical withdrawals, some shake, some sweat, some struggle to sleep, psychological withdrawals. I didn't have major of those. I think my biggest problem was sleep. So sleep medication to help me sleep. That was for about a week. And once I kind of stabilized, I think it was very clear to the psychiatrist and the psychologist that I was grieving. I didn't know I was grieving. 2 years later, I had no idea. So we did grief counseling. And that was a game changer. First of all, this middle class guy did not know that there was something called grief counseling. I say that because it's kind of interesting. I went to good schools, I'm quite exposed, I've traveled a lot. How did I not know that there was something called grief counseling? So to the psychologists and psychiatrists who helped me in my detox facility, allow me to say thank you. And every other professional I've met since then. Because I had a lot of daddy issues that had piled up over the years, unbeknownst to myself. We carry wounds, we carry resentments, we carry anger. And this is not to say that my dad wasn't loving. It's not to say that my dad wasn't awesome. He was all of those. But I had issues that had gone unresolved. And it was in grief therapy that I was able to even put words to these issues and then get guidance on how to let go and appreciate the life that my parents had built for me. So that was regulate sleep, that was step one. Grief therapy was step two. Or rather, the second aha moment. I started sleeping really well after the grief therapy. And then the third thing that was a game changer was they do psychological assessments, they do mental health tests, anxiety, depression, all these things. So take it from me, don't wait until you hit rock bottom. Look for a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and get your mental health assessed. These are mostly multiple choice questions. So Sunday was diagnosed with anxiety, depression, grief, insomnia, which is a chronic sleep disorder, and ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. People talk a lot about ADHD nowadays, so it's not as stigmatized as before. But this started to make sense, at least as I kept learning about them with the help of the psychologists and psychiatrists. ADHD or other mood regulatory disorders like bipolar make you very prone to addictive tendencies or addiction. You're impulsive. ADHD means at times I can be very depressed. And when I'm depressed, I'm looking to be stimulated. So if it's not cocaine, then it's 5 sodas a day, which is what I used to do a long time ago. So that mental health diagnosis really, really, really helped me in the sense that I got to understand my underlying issues. That's what they call them. So the presenting issues is the cocaine, the overeating, alcohol to a small extent at the time. That's what you get to see. You see someone high, you see someone drunk.
Actually, I wanted to ask, before you got, we go back kidogo, before you got to realize that, or before now you were introduced to cocaine, were you indulging in other form of ulevi, like alcohol? Were you a party person? How was it before now you got to be introduced to cocaine?
Okay, that's a good question. I think I had my first drink, age 18. But alcohol was never really my thing. I hated hangovers. I didn't need it to socialize. So I have drunk alcohol. And like I said, briefly, I think that 2020, 2022, I drank more than usual. But I wouldn't say alcohol is a problem for me. I have tried cannabis, weed. Also that didn't really do much for me. I didn't quite enjoy it very much. I've smoked shisha every now and then. I'd say my primary drug of choice is cocaine. That's the one I need to stay away from. That's the one that if I start, I won't stop. And the second addictive thing I have is food. Specifically chips and chicken or boozy. And I tend to fall back down to that. When my cravings are too much or my anxiety is too heavy, I will eat even at 2 o'clock in the morning. So those are my 2 drugs of choice. Or addictions of choice. But allow me to say this. Food is actually the #1 addiction in the world. We just don't categorize it as that because eating is a social thing, it's a come together thing. But food is actually the #1 addiction. And you can see it now in the levels of obesity, levels of people having high blood pressure. You see the effects.
The lifestyle diseases, right?
You don't eat at the right time, you don't eat the right foods, you don't eat enough. And for alcoholics and people who have addiction, we tend to compromise on food. It's part of the package. So my mental health diagnosis was a game changer because then I realized if I can learn to manage my mental health and my mental illnesses, it will help me manage the addiction. So till this day, I manage my ADHD as best as I can. And some people get caught up in the words. If I say my ADHD, people think I'm owning it, or it's me. It's just a lack of vocabulary. But ADHD is not something you cure. Depression is not something you cure. Anxiety you don't cure. Insomnia you don't cure. All of these things are to be managed. Can be managed through medication. I'm on some medication. Can be managed through therapy. I am still in therapy. Can be managed through holistic means. I do meditation. I exercise. All of these things I help you manage. When I don't do these things, I'm off. And the ADHD flares up. The depression happens more often. The anxiety sometimes can paralyze me, and I'm just in bed the whole day. And when you're in that kind of situation, addiction starts knocking on your door. So what I learned in rehab was to finally think of myself. Learn to take care of myself. Remember, I was the guy, firstborn, and most firstborns have a bit of a hero complex, so you fly in to help people with their problems, even if they haven't asked you. And I now know I used to do that a lot. Now I started learning how to take care of myself. I was the guy starting to make his bed in rehab every single day and taking pride in that. Started cleaning myself up, dressing well, doing the basics right, making sure I'm always monitoring my sleep, eating better. So for me, those 104 days in rehab were transformative because I got to understand aspects of myself that I never really even thought about. And I got to learn from others. We think those in rehab have failed. And let me be the first to tell you, I have met some of the smartest people you could ever come across. And if you think I'm just exaggerating, I'm just talking, if you have someone battling addiction or alcoholism in your family, I challenge you to remember them before those problems. And I think 9 out of 10, you'll say, man, this guy or this lady was going places, or they were very smart. Life gets in the way. There's something I learned in rehab called co-occurring disorders or comorbidities, and I think it's important to highlight what that is. The alcohol and the drugs are the presenting issue. But the real question is, why can't you stop? What are you numbing? What are you running away from? What is it? So in Sunday's case, it was the undiagnosed grief. It was the depression that I did not know I had. It was the anxiety. It was the ADHD. So simply put, I was self-medicating. People think addiction is a choice. You choose to be addicted. Who chooses to be addicted? It's not. To me, it's not even intellectually possible.
Nobody chooses to be an addict.
You choose to have that drink. You choose to smoke that weed. You choose to have that coffee. You choose to shoplift. What happens after that is the disease. Because when you start, you can't stop. I hear people say, yeah, but I have one drink and I'm okay. I said, that is you. Somebody else will have that one drink and that's it. They begin their love story again. So we've gone through rehab, the sleep medication, the grief counseling, the mental health diagnosis. All of that helped. Being in an environment now where I have 3 meals a day, someone with ADHD needs structure. You see, so I was back in a structured environment. Remember I told you growing up in Kenya, I went to good schools, I was highly motivated. Someone with ADHD needs structure. I need to know that this is going to happen at this time, but I also need the freedom to be able to make my own structure within that structure. When I have no structure, I will grasp onto whatever it is that motivates me.
You see, when at what point now, you see, before now the loss that happened, the loss of your dad, you were still into the addiction, but it was not as now it was worse when you lost your dad.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was not into the addiction. It's more like
You are
into
just
the
taking
drug.
it for
Yeah,
fun.
for fun.
Okay.
There's stages. So stage 2, you're just a regular social user. And of course, that doesn't diminish the fact that you're indulging in alcohol or drugs. They're already addictive by design.
Yeah.
But the loss of my father, there was a hole, there was a wound that I did not know was there. Right?
Yeah.
And you're trying to fill this now with whatever it is that can make you feel a little bit better.
Yes.
But I like to think of addiction as someone who's digging, thinking they're digging their way out of a problem.
Yeah.
But you're actually digging yourself deeper and deeper and deeper. That, to me, is what addiction and alcoholism does. And the only way you can get helped or can help yourself is if you throw away the shovel. The shovel meaning whatever it is that's making you dive deeper, deeper, deeper.
Yeah.
So deal with the grief. The grief is that shovel. Deal with your ADHD. Deal with your relationship. Don't dig yourself deeper. Actually deal with it. And as painful and tough as that is, that's exactly what you need to do. Otherwise, addiction comes into place for that and tricks you into thinking this is medication. It's not. Never will be. So I think the next part that's really important is now life after rehab. Right? So now it's been 4 years. It took me 13 months before I had my first lapse. And what is a lapse? Ni kama umejisahau, you know? You indulge a little bit, but unajitambua, you know yourself. So you go like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. So 13 months in, I went to a particular place that I'd been avoiding, but I'd forgotten myself. It happens. I just went to this place where I used to actually like to go and do my cocaine. And I went there just to have a drink. Just went there to relax after a long day at work. I'd already said resuming work a year later. And I think the idea of coke happened so quickly.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what hit me. But I deleted all the numbers of these guys I knew, but I was motivated. So we were talking earlier, and I told you if there's something I come to learn, it is addiction and alcoholism. You get a level of motivation to use that you don't quite have when you're sober to do something productive.
Yeah.
I remember saying, I want to do coke. And I think within 30 minutes, I'd found an old email, maybe 10 years old, with my dealer's number. And there he was 30 minutes later. It's business for him. And I started using again for maybe a week or two. And then I remember asking myself, why am I using this? I promised my counselor I'd call him.
Yeah.
Called my counselor. We had a conversation about it. In fact, I came all the way back to Nairobi. He was based in Nimuru. And we had a conversation. And this is what I learned. The actual drinking or using is the match, it's the fire. But psychologically and emotionally, you had already started relapsing.
Okay.
And when I look back at that time, I was working for a company and there was a lot to do. I hadn't worked at that level in quite some time. So my insomnia had come back. I'd actually gone a couple of days without sleeping for a couple of weeks. I'd stopped exercising. I'd cross addicted to running marathons and walking every day. I'd stopped doing all of that. And I'd gone back to that habit of picking up food at midnight to then eat and then try and sleep. So all those things were prevalent the few weeks before that lapse. But I had not experienced or known these things, right? So the lesson here is they're psychological, emotional, behavioral, physical patterns that when they get activated, you're at risk of a relapse. Like I said, 13 months after rehab, I'd been sober, so motivated, made all the necessary changes. In fact, I'd sold my TV. I was also addicted to TV. I'd sold my fridge and I bought a small little mini fridge. But all this to tell you, I had good motivation and willpower when I left rehab. 13 months later, I slipped up. Now, most people, when you slip up, you don't want to let people down. So you keep it a secret.
Yes.
And that is what's going to fuel the addiction and the alcoholism even more. So what did I do? I'd promised my counselor I'd call him if I ever used again. And that was a vital lesson, that I need to avoid certain places, certain people, certain things, because I'm prone to getting back to addiction. I had my first relapse maybe 6-7 months later. So almost 2 years after rehab. And that was triggered by me and my ex-partner fighting about the kids. So for me, these are the stories behind the stories that people don't tend to talk about.
Yes.
But just because I'm sober doesn't mean that those that love me or those connected to me automatically trust me.
Yeah.
Right? The nature of addiction as well is instant gratification. It's all about me, now, now, now. But people need time. You know, trust takes time. So obviously at the time I felt I have a right to see my kids or what have you, but she thought otherwise. And now I can appreciate that addiction and alcoholism is a family disease because you affect those around you. But it's out of that relapse I had 2 years into my recovery that it finally made sense to me that I trigger certain people. They trigger me. And when they trigger me, I'm the one who's prone to relapsing, not them. That's when I made a decision to leave Tanzania and come back to Nairobi where my healing began. But coming to do what?
So this time you were starting rehab, you were in Tanzania?
Yes, so I was in Tanzania, and then the decision was made by my family for me to come to Kenya for rehab. And that's because there are much better facilities here, which now tells you there's a very big problem back home because we don't have this kind of facilities. We also have people who drink, we have people who do substances. Where do they go? What help do they get? There's a part of my story I didn't mention, but I think a year after rehab, I just decided I'm proud of my recovery. I'm not ashamed that I had challenges. And for me, I identified shame as the #1 problem. So I actually went on Facebook with my phone. I didn't know that your phone has to be this way. It was actually this way. So my very first video, I was telling my fellow Tanzanians, hey, my name is Sunday. I'm in recovery from cocaine. I've just come back from rehab. Is there anybody out there doing this thing called recovery? Let's connect. I didn't get a single hit, and I thought, that's strange. I know people in Tanzania who have this problem. I know people who have gone to rehab, but that told me the level of stigma. Remember I told you my camera was like this? So everybody saw that video, Shinkopande. I'll never forget. Finally, people got back to me and said, bro, we like your message, but next time, put the camera this way. I was an amateur when it came to those things. So I did a second video. And that one, a few people reached out. And then I started building a bit of a community. So talking about what grief taught me, depression is teaching me, what rock bottom was like. And I started getting calls from people, friends, strangers, tell us more, tell us more. So when I said, I'm going to Nairobi, I said, let me go study this thing because I've lived it, but it's a science on its own. And it was about getting away from Dar es Salaam where my triggers are and starting to find a new path. So Sunday today is a recovery coach, an addiction counselor in training. I do a lot of volunteer work. I try to break this stigma of addiction and mental health. Try to help others, especially families. People, I think, look for dramatic, sad stories, and they're there. And I appreciate even you as somebody who highlights these stories. But I think the ones that also suffer, that go unnoticed, are the ones we don't see because life looks normal. Nice big house in Runda, going to Alliance or whatever school. These people are quietly suffering and they probably don't know it themselves, right? So I look at myself today, 4 years after rehab. In fact, this is June, right?
Yes.
So June 27th will be...
This is July.
This is July. Wow. So actually, it was last week on the 27th that I actually entered rehab.
Okay.
So I'm now officially in my 5th year of recovery.
Yeah.
And I will always be a recovering addict. Keeps me on my toes. I have to be vigilant about my sleep, my mood, who I engage with. And I think that's appropriate. We raise our children to always make smart decisions. But I'm on a mission to break stigma. I'm on a mission to let in the light. And people who are struggling with addiction and mental health and alcohol, they need compassion more than fear.
Yeah.
They need support more than judgment. And they need openness more than silence. So if you're struggling with addiction, with alcohol, ask for help. Receive
Don't
that
hide
help.
behind the curtains.
Yes, and help is there,
Yeah.
but receive it. And it doesn't matter how many times you fall. Get up, because you're a very resilient person. And you're not here by chance, and there's always hope to do things better.
Okay.
But denial is only going to make your miseries even worse.
Did when you are now starting to get to this drug, did you have a problem with sleep that you felt perhaps this drug is solving, or what now prompted now to it is constant now consumption of it?
So I'll answer it in 2 ways. One is, I mentioned when I used to do it, I used to sleep better. So I kind of looked at cocaine as sleep medication, which is very interesting because by design it's a stimulant. It's meant to make you hyper. Me, it actually helped me sleep. That's one. And then 2, like I said, the cocaine usage got a lot worse after my father died. And I did not know I was grieving.
Yeah.
So I asked myself, if I knew I was grieving and I got in grief counseling, it's possible the cocaine usage would not have gone up,
Yes.
but it was heading in that direction anyway,
Yeah.
because that's the nature of addiction. So I look at my dad passing as a blessing in disguise, because my vulnerabilities came to the surface.
Yeah.
They were being hidden quite well.
That's that's the moment it exploded.
Exactly. So grief, loss, is what exploded my addiction.
Yeah.
And I'm not alone. I've seen it in many others.
So many people.
Yeah.
So heartbreaks, so many things.
Loss of job.
Yeah.
You've got someone who's terminally ill.
Yeah.
We call that anticipatory grief. Like you feel your mom is about to die, but they're critically ill, right? So you're constantly battling with grief and loss. Add trauma on top of that, add job loss, add relationship failure. It's a lot of things you should be talking about, but we're not talking about them. And therefore you self-medicate. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Somebody eats anytime they're anxious. Somebody drinks. Somebody does all the above. So understand that the grief and loss is what really fast-tracked my addiction.
Okay.
And my mental health was just all over the place. And I was a prisoner in my own mind, for lack of a better sentence. And the last 4 years have been about better managing my mental thoughts, my emotions, how I respond to people, what I do. And it's a continuous learning process. But now I know how to sit with my feelings. My father died September 1st, 2020. For the first year or two, the 2 months or so leading to September, I would sink into a depression. And I didn't know it. But through counseling, I learned the signs. If my curtains are still closed, that to me is a sign that I am sinking in the wrong direction. So I always open my curtains. But if they're closed and I become aware of it, I go, okay, this is time to talk. So my journey, simply put, is this.
Okay.
Losing my father triggered my addiction to a whole new level. And it's because I didn't know it and I didn't talk about that loss. So the solution was to talk about it. Losing my father triggered a depression. Depression is stage 4 of grief, and they happen concurrently sometimes. Now I know, and I can see that if somebody loses someone, my first tip is you should talk to someone about it. But you'll hear, no, I'm okay. I say, how do you determine you're okay? But I'm able to focus at work. I say, but why shouldn't you be able to talk about the loss? If you can talk about it, then I think you're fine. If you're not talking about it, which is your right, maybe there is an issue there.
Yeah.
Anxiety, we all have that to different levels and different degrees. So my message is, one, understand your mental health or any mental illnesses you may have, catch them early, learn to manage them, and chances are you may avoid addiction or get out of it. Yeah.
There's someone who perhaps, you can now, before now someone realizes that you need help. Could you say as Sunday now there is that point that you got and you felt things are out of control, or unajua then kuna mtu anaanza kushake, anaanza nini, ndo ana realize that is now the point that you need to stop it or go to rehab and get help. You are Sunday now, what point now, apart from now this point now you meet your mom, was now any other point in your life that you felt you should now stop this using this substance?
To be honest, it never hit me that I had a problem. And I think it's because maybe I hadn't overdone it, but also I defined my life by being a lawyer, having my own business.
Yeah.
I defined my life as being a father, being a partner to someone. I defined my life as being the firstborn and, being a friend to many people.
Yeah.
So all those attachments fooled me into thinking I was okay.
Okay.
And for me, that's the real tragedy. That today you see someone driving a Range Rover. You see them eating at Sankara Hotel. You see, that is Cabinet Secretary so-and-so or CEO so-and-so. And you go, I want that life. That guy has made it. That lady has made it. Have they? Are they? Or are they masking with all these titles? How can you tell? Normally within the family, those as closest to you, they know you have a problem. But because of the outside perception, reputation, etc., you want to maintain a personality, a persona. And that's exactly what addiction wants.
Yeah.
It wants to fool you into thinking because you have a suit and you're a lawyer, you're fine. Uko poa.
Yeah.
But your question was at what point? The point for me was, I'm sure during those 2 years after my father died, I knew I had a problem with sleeping. I did not know I had a problem with overeating. I did not know my cocaine was a problem.
Yeah.
I did not know I was depressed. I did not know I was anxious. I didn't know I had ADHD. And I think the message I'm trying to get across is what you don't know can do a lot more damage to you than what you do know. Because if you know alcohol is a problem, then you're probably in denial or ashamed or what have you. But what you know you do not know is a problem. So what's the solution? Go for your mental health psychological tests, the same way you go do a physical once a year. Talk to psychologists, psychiatrists, just have a conversation, book a session. Doesn't mean your life is going down. Doesn't mean you have a problem you know of. But these professionals could pick something that's underlying, just waiting for a moment, right? If I always had anxiety, always had ADHD, this means that they were waiting for a trigger. And I think the main trigger was the grief. I know someone who, 15 years after burying their mother at a board meeting, just had a proper breakdown, crying, shaking. Went to therapy, and it was diagnosed as being chronically grieving, but hiding it because her work was very demanding.
Yeah.
You'll notice when people lose their jobs, lose a family member, some people, their life just goes right? So umepata kipigo kikubwa, like you've been hit by something.
Yeah.
But I think the job, the relationship, keeps you floating and hides and masks these other issues.
Okay.
So rock bottom for me was clearly when my mom was completely heartbroken.
Okay.
That was the moment the light started coming in. So you have to ask yourself, if I never talked to my mom that night, if my friends and family did not intervene the morning before, I was heading in a very wrong
What
direction.
would have happened if it wasn't intervened at that point?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for many, those interventions don't happen. And for many, the interventions happen, but you're still stubborn. You're still convincing yourself you can control this. I know some people, the rock bottom was when they got into a car accident. Others, rock bottom is when they lost someone. Others, rock bottom is when they lost their job. Then it was like, oh, wow, who else can I blame? Rock bottom is different for everybody.
Yeah.
But my concern today is people who are walking around normal, but you know they're struggling.
Okay.
They know they're struggling to some degree, but we call it normalcy. I have a car, I pay my bills, my kids are in school. The real question should be, are you spending time with your kids? The real question is, tomorrow is a World Cup match. Can you give up that much to take your wife out to dinner? If the answer is no and no, it could be a problem.
And at what point now do you realize that you, as a recovery coach, someone out there who's drinking, someone out there who's using other substances, because you said addiction doesn't fall only on alcohol, it falls on so many things.
Yeah.
Because, for instance, in my case, people reach out to me, these are the ones that you're saying behavioral addiction, and at what point now should they maybe feel, take action, or no, now it's getting out of hand? Enough, the duration now you take, like you can take alcohol today, you realize you are taking it after one day. At what point now should it be a concern to you that you are heading the wrong direction?
My answer will be at every stage.
Okay.
So there's something called the trans-theoretical change model. Everybody goes through the following stages of change.
Yeah.
Something called pre-contemplation, which is denial. Then you've got contemplation, which is awareness. You start to think, I may have a problem, but you're not ready to ask for help. That's a stage on its own. And then you've got preparation, which is now you'll say, Sunday, what was that rehab you went to? You see someone is doing their homework.
Yes.
Or you talk to a therapist, can I have their number? It doesn't mean you're going to call the person, but you're getting closer. And then you've got stage 4, which is action. Now you take yourself to rehab.
Yes.
You fix that appointment with the counselor. And then you've got stage 5, which is maintenance. How do you maintain the changes you're now making?
Okay.
That's a whole different stage. And then the final stage, the 6th one, is recurrence or relapse. So understand that at every single stage, you are at risk of relapsing. And the plans and interventions are different in every stage.
Okay.
So you, as you, if you want to know if you have a problem, this is the most simple definition of addiction that I have for you. Excuse me. When you lose the freedom to say no
To whatever substance, to whatever thing.
you filled in the blank. Just think about that for a second.
Yeah.
If you ask yourself, or ask an alcoholic, can you not have that drink? The answer will be, yeah, of course I cannot have it. Or who are you to even ask me? You say, okay, let's test it out. And if within 24 to 48 hours you have a drink, let's have another conversation. Say, you said you could go without it for 2 days. So when you lose the freedom to say no, there is a problem.
That is the time now you...
And the next step, ask for help.
Okay. What would you wish to tell someone that is just using any substance, anything for fun, or doing something? You know, someone once said that the best way to stop a habit is by not starting at all. But because now we will find ourselves in some things that you won't know that it will become a habit, but in a matter of time it will become a habit. What would you tell someone who's in a situation and they haven't realized it's not okay doing it, but you know now the end won't be a good one?
Okay. For those who haven't started, don't start.
Thank you.
For those who have started,
Yes.
Try and stop.
Yes. Not try to minimize.
No.
Stop.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Now, easier said than done. Not everybody has the willpower. Everybody else needs help. So get the help of an addiction coach, like myself. Get the help of an addiction counselor, like who I'm trying to be. Even ChatGPT can give you some of these answers. But talk to a real life human being. Follow this YouTube channel for the amazing videos that Mercy puts up of stories like our own. Because sometimes it takes hearing somebody else's story for you to see a bit of yourself and go, maybe. I was at a rehab last year. I introduced myself as a lawyer, and a lawyer who's recovering from a cocaine addiction. And there was someone in that rehab who followed me all the way to the gate. Are you really a lawyer? And I said, hey, why are we whispering? He said, are you really a lawyer? I said, yes, I'm a lawyer. He says, I'm a lawyer also.
Oh, God.
I said, oh, okay, that's nice. Lawyer to lawyer. Good to know you're here. Do you really do cocaine? I said, yes, I'm recovering from cocaine. And he says, I also do cocaine.
Wow.
And what shocked me with that is he is a patient in a rehab facility and had not admitted to anyone that he has a cocaine addiction. Because cocaine itself is even more stigmatizing than alcohol.
You can't just random. By the way, it's even hard for people for someone to hear that I'm an addict of cocaine. In most, you know, I've also realized the fact that those drugs will make you just. I see you. Someone can't smell that you've taken coke. Someone won't smell. Okay, with the weed, someone will because. But now, later on, after you've taken and it's been a number of hours and you are still high, not everyone will be able to realize. People will just see you are calm. You are. It's hard.
And every drug has different behaviors to it. So even cocaine, they're physical signs, but they're not things you can obviously see. But my point of that conversation with that guy is if I had not said lawyer, we would not have connected. And if I had not said cocaine right after, we would not have connected. But this gentleman was in that rehab for a couple of weeks. And even in there, he felt there's stigma towards cocaine because he had never heard anyone else say it. Most people is alcohol. 80% of addictions are alcohol.
Cigarette.
The other 20% is everything else, right? So this is why I say I'm a lawyer who's recovering from a cocaine addiction because I want to believe there's somebody somewhere. First of all, when you say lawyer, no one thinks addiction next to law. You say musician, they may think weed, right? But that was an eye-opener for me, that for that young man, he felt seen, he felt heard, and you asked, how does someone get out of it? It was him following me that day to the gate and admitting he's a lawyer and admitting he has a cocaine problem. And we started talking about it every time I used to show up at that place, encouraging him to share. Because what we don't realize is addiction unites all of us.
Yeah.
It does not discriminate based on profession, tribe, level of richness or poverty. But we associate addiction and alcohol a lot to poor people. People who are ragged, and forgetting that it cuts across all of them.
Yeah.
And recovery is the same thing.
Okay. And what would you wish to say as we conclude now as a coach, as a recovery coach?
Well, number one is to thank you, Mercy, and your YouTube channel for looking for such people and sharing their vulnerabilities. I think the more lived experiences you have out there will inspire many people to get help.
Yeah.
Because again, remember, my story is a guy who went to good schools, a guy who had a lot of opportunities, a guy who lost his father, a guy who didn't know he was grieving. None of this sounds too dramatic when compared to someone who was kicked out of the army or someone who lived in the gutters, right? You see how relative stories are. But if you don't tell my story, there's probably a lawyer somewhere there who's grieving the loss of their mother or their partner. And hopefully this is them now saying, maybe I need help. So let me start by thanking people like yourselves. And then as a recovery coach, I will start by talking to families. I know it's difficult to watch your family member lose themselves to mental health and addiction. It's terrible. You lack sleep as well. You are also stressed. So my first message is you, the family member. See your own psychologist or therapist. Talk about your resentments, your issues. For you. You need help. And then join a support group. There are many out there. One of them is called Al-Anon. This is for families of alcoholics and addicts. If you want to care for someone, you need to care for yourself. If you're losing yourself, you can't help people like me any better. And to the one struggling with addiction or alcohol, whether you know it or not, you start by asking for help. And then receive that help. And then do the work. And then pay that forward. Help somebody else the same way you've been helped. And lastly, addiction can be beaten. It takes a lot of work. And it takes a whole village. And let's remove this myth that you can just choose to stop. Yes, you make a choice to stop, but you still need people to walk with you. And for me, I will end by just saying, let's do away with stigma and make room for compassion. Let's do away with silence and let's make room for vulnerable, compassionate conversations. And with that, all I'm going to say is thank you to my family, thank you to my friends, thank you to all the followers I have. Thank you to all the professionals who've worked with me. I could not be sober today and back to school and helping people and managing my mental health without all of you. So kwa nia wote, asanteni sana.
Someone out there may be asking how they can reach you because they have someone somewhere that needs help, and you are the right person for that. So you can leave now where they can find you. If it's the socials or contact, you can go ahead and do that.
Thank you. So my Safaricom number is 0769 235 199 0769 235 199. I'm mostly active on WhatsApp, which is my Tanzanian number, which is +255 788 664508. My WhatsApp number, I'll repeat it, is my Tanzanian number, +255 788 664508. I actually have a website, it's still a work in progress, and the website address is www.baretalk.com. MWANGAZAWASUNDAY.co.tz, which stands for mwangazawasunday.co.tz. What am I trying to do with the website is bring people with lived experience together with professionals and facilities, and we act as a bridge. So we can advise you to talk to someone like Sunday, or get a specific type of counselor, or go to a specific type of facility. And we're also being a resource, a repository for information. Social media is at Mwangaza, double underscore, so double dash, then WA single dash Sunday. That's on Instagram and Threads and LinkedIn. I also do a lot of writing, recovery writing, mental health writing. You'll find my articles on my LinkedIn, which is Sunday Kapesi. Also on Facebook, which is Sunday Ndunguru Kapesi. Give me a call if you're struggling with addiction, mental ill health. Let's have a conversation. Let me direct you to the right people, right places. You can't recover alone. We do it together.
So that is the story of Sunday, and his story now opens your eyes. His story now makes you believe that it is possible to do it. It is possible to stop that, to drop that bottle. It's possible to drop that cigar. It's possible to drop whatever you are doing, be it behavioral addiction, because some of these addictions, it's not only about alcohol. Some of them are about some things that you are doing, and it's becoming a habit. So when are you supposed to stop? When now do you realize that it's not okay whatever you are doing? You don't have to get to the floor so that you can rise again. You can still rise when you've not now hit the floor. His story now opens your eyes. His story encourages you. If you have a question for him, he's left the contact, wherever, many places that you can find him. Some of you might not be on WhatsApp. Some of you might not be. There are people. There is this generation that doesn't believe in normal calls. Sisi millennials, we believe in normal calls, but there are those who don't believe. You can reach him via his number, and it really inspires me to hear someone say that they were brought up well. Unajua saa ingine mzazi, and I don't know, but in my observation, nobody raises someone to fail or to do anything. But now the enemy comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy, and they may attack you. You don't know. Umeanza pombe hivyo umesikia, ndacha nikatoe lo, kusiende kuitoa. That is now the beginning of your problems. So that has been his story. I have been your host, Masindaru, doing the most. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Do not forget to subscribe and also to follow Mr. Sunday over here, and see you in the next video.